Hey there, multi-prep teachers. You know how professional development never seems to quite get to what we need? It's like, great idea, but how do I make this work when I have 3+ preps to juggle? That's exactly why I created the Simplify Your Preps Collective. It's a free Facebook group built just for teachers like you, where we share tips, resources, and real talk about making multi-prep teaching less overwhelming and more doable. Sound like your kind of space? Head to kristenmasick.com/collective and join us today. Let's simplify together. In today's episode, we are going to be talking about the challenges of feeling appreciated as a teacher, particularly during Teacher Appreciation Week. We are going to be talking about the impact of financial barriers and the varying levels of support within different school environments that can ultimately affect some of these things that are happening during this week. We're going to be talking about some of the experiences and insights that I learned from the book, The Power of Moments. And we are going to also be talking about some strategies for teachers to celebrate and appreciate yourselves. From writing notes of gratitude to treating oneself to a simple reward, we are going to be talking about some practical and meaningful ways for you as an educator to acknowledge your hard work and your dedication. Tune in to the rest of the episode for more information and details. Welcome to the Secondary Teacher Podcast, the podcast for middle and high school teachers juggling multiple preps to get the strategies to reduce overwhelm so that you don't have to choose between being an effective teacher and prioritizing important relationships. I'm your host, Kristen Masick, a 10-year high school engineering teacher, former middle school assistant principal, and teacher coach. Every week, we will discuss strategies, systems, and time-saving tips to help you not only survive but thrive as a multiple prep teacher. Let's be honest, some people just aren't really good at showing appreciation. And I will admit that there are times where I myself am not good at showing appreciation, depending on who it's to and just the circumstance. But we're really going into this week is Teacher Appreciation Week. And sometimes we may not feel like we're getting appreciated, and there are some barriers with that. I'm not going to be making excuses for people, but financial barriers, whether you're in a certain demographic as far as schooling goes, you also could just be at a certain level. I never got hardly anything from students for sure, and from parents at the high school level. There were more so at the middle school level, but then it depended on like our PTA and how active they were and how excited they were to plan events for us. And it just seemed like there were several times, most often, that teacher appreciation was a little bit of a letdown. And I feel like I had set myself up for that. I had read a book a couple years ago. It was called The Power of Moments by Dan and Chip Heath. And they talked about how you can create moments, create memories, create these emotions that are surrounding an event. And it's easier to have it done or like to feel those moments when it was not expected. That's like a double negative when it comes to Teacher Appreciation Week, because you know what's coming up and you're wondering, okay, what is going to happen? What are they going to give us this year? Is it going to be good? Is it going to be crappy? Is it going to be kind of like you'd rather not get anything at all? And it just depends on your administration. And then over the years, I feel like our budgets have gotten slashed more and more, and they're getting audited more. And so even if you do have an administration that wants to spend money on you and buy things in certain ways, their hands could be very well tied, which then just makes it all the more fun. Today, we are going to be talking about different ways that you can celebrate yourself, whether that's during this week or any other time, or just even celebrating that you are going to make it through the end of the school year. Simple things that you can do to reward yourself without relying on any others. I've seen a few different times over the last month people asking, what are different things that teachers would like to receive on Teacher Appreciation Week? And sometimes it was parents that were asking these things, other times it was like other teachers, and more often than not, I mean, there was money. People wanted money or some sort of like gift card that they could actually use. And then a lot of people were saying that they wanted some affirmations, some gratitude letters, simple notes, just something that's heartfelt and that would mean something today, tomorrow, something that you could possibly hang on to if that is the kind of person you are. One way that you can celebrate yourself is by celebrating others and appreciating others. One of my favorite things to do is to take a moment and write a note to a colleague. Someone who I feel like is doing a great job, or they are somebody who has impacted me in my growth. And I don't really know, like, I don't care how they receive it because of how it makes me feel when I give that to them or when I write it and put it in their mailbox in the office. That's where I'm going to have you start by figuring out ways that you can show appreciation to your fellow colleagues. And this doesn't have to cost any money. So as simple as writing a note, you could even write an email. The next way that you can celebrate yourself that is beyond Teacher Appreciation Week but could also occur during Teacher Appreciation Week is to leave at your contracted time at least once, sometime this week, maybe next week. And maybe you can even get into a pattern so that every Friday you are always leaving at this time. Or if there is something that's happening on Wednesday that you like to go out with your friends or your family or something, that is the day. That can be a simple way to celebrate or treat yourself. Now, this next one will cost a little bit of money, but there are ways to make it not cost a lot of money. Every single end of the quarter or the term, we would go and get massages, Jared and I. That was like our ritual. We survived the term and we would go and get massages. Now, this is how we would do it so that it would cost a little bit less money, is we found a school that taught massage therapy. Yes, it wasn't like as nice as far as like aesthetics in the room, but we could get 2 massages for $25, and they were 2-hour-long massages. So not a really bad deal. That was definitely something we could afford on our teacher budget as very first year teachers. And back when we first started teaching, the salary was a lot lower than it currently is. That is something that we liked to do, and we continued it. We also found a spa or an aesthetic school. That is a school that does similar things, but we could get facials or back treatments or a bunch of other different spa treatments. We've done that several times as well, and that is one way that we like to kind of do the spa, take care of yourself, but just on the cheap and make it so that we are still having fun and treating ourselves. Another simple way is to buy yourself a special treat. We have around here, we have a lot of the soda shops that will put different flavors in your drink. It's kind of like soda cocktail without the alcohol. And most of those places have cookies, or Crumble is huge, or we just have a bunch of different places where you could buy a treat. And I love me some peanut butter bars, and I will go and get those every once in a while just to give myself a pat on the back. Hey, you're doing a good job. You got everything graded this week. You need a peanut butter bar. So there you go. Give yourself a special treat. You pack it in your lunch, or even possibly have it delivered. So these are my favorite things that I like to do to show appreciation for myself. And as a review, here's what they are. I like to write notes to colleagues, notes of appreciation, thank you notes. Those tend to be the most impactful for me, and they are the simplest. They may take some time, but they are one of my favorite things that I enjoy doing. The next is to specifically decide on different days or day to leave at contracted time. So figure out when you want to do it and celebrate yourself by saying, even though I may have things to do, I can get those done tomorrow. I'm going to finish right now and head home. The next was going to some sort of a spa or massage place or something like that, but being creative in how you do that so that you can afford to do that, because maybe you want to do it more than once. And then finally is to just buy yourself a simple treat. And you're craving it, and when you're thinking, I deserve this, and this is for me. These are the ways that I personally like to celebrate myself. I would love to know how you like to show appreciation for yourself or celebrate yourself, or maybe if you've gotten like a great Teacher Appreciation Week gift, I would love to know that as well. Shoot me a DM over on Instagram. That's where I hang out the most, at Kristen Masick, KrstenMassick. Until next week.